Hey, Coco. Welcome
Hi.
back to Toronto.
Thanks.
You worked, sorry, Andy Roddick. You mentioned his podcast. One of his favorite parts of working with Brad Gilbert was that he's got this tonal awareness. So he kind of knows his player and kind of when to give them feedback appropriately based on their personality. Can you kind of speak to that experience so far with Brad?
Yeah. I mean, he's been with a lot of players, so he knows, I guess, how to approach people. I don't know if I'm a difficult person or not, so yeah. But yeah, Brad's a great guy, so yeah.
Aside from playing tournaments in the United States, is this kind of as close as it gets to a home type of event? Do you enjoy playing in Canada and feel a pretty positive vibe from the fans here?
Yeah, for sure in Toronto. Maybe not so much Montreal, just because it's more the French side. But for sure in Toronto, it feels definitely, as like you said, as close as you can get to the U.S. And the fans are really. This was my first. I hit yesterday, but it was night, so there's nobody. That first day, like with fans, and yeah, they're really receptive of me. I got to meet some cool people, so yeah, I'm excited to hopefully have a good week here.
Hi, Coco.
Hi.
Uh, Obviously, you were in the Olympics last week. Now you are here. How do you manage that schedule? There were a few athletes who, cited fatigue and wouldn't be able to make it to the NBO, but you're here. How do you manage that?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I have no expectations for this week. I mean, I'm not going into this expecting to win or anything. Obviously, it'll be great. That's the goal. But, we'll be realistic. I was on clay 3 days ago. So, yeah, I think overall I'm just trying to use this as just to see where I'm at and what I need to do to get ready for U.S. Open.
Hey, Coco, welcome
Hi.
back.
Thanks.
Just in terms of the full schedule that you played at Olympics, and there's no guarantees, but obviously LA 2028, I'm curious kind of what your experience was in your debut that you'll take forward to maybe the next time that you play Olympics or anything like that, and what was the highlight?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't really experience the full effects of I lost earlier in singles, so at that point, I think I didn't even double up yet, so I would still do all three again if that's a possibility in 28. I mean, it's 4 years from now. I'll be 24, so I'll still be on the healthier and should be healthier and younger side of things. Especially if the draw size is mix is that small. I feel like that's one that everybody wants to play. But yeah, I had a great experience. I mean, it was from not being able to go to Tokyo to be able to go here. I just feel like, LA, I'll hopefully be on the podium. I don't know. I just feel like that's what my life consists of, like having a disappointing result. And then the next time is like the best thing in the world. So, yeah, I think I'm just trying to learn from this experience, and overall it was positive. I would 100% choose to do it again, even if I lost first round and everything. It was something that was incredible. Being flag bearer was something I wouldn't have expected, and meeting all the incredible people that I met. Yeah, I don't take it lightly, and as every Olympics that I qualify in, I'll for sure play unless I'm injured.
Next question. Yeah, we'll come back to the front. In terms of that Olympic experience and being the flag bearer and being someone who's a pretty notorious and well-known worldwide athlete, did you have any cool athlete interactions that stand out to you, whether it be American athletes in other disciplines or from other countries as well?
Yeah, one thing I didn't expect for other athletes to ask me for photos or anything, which was weird because my teammates, Taylor, he was like, "You won the U.S. Open." I was like, "I don't know." I don't know. It was just very weird. I wasn't expecting, in the village, to be people coming up to ask photos with me and some people I looked up to. The coolest interaction, there was a lot of cool ones. I met Katie Ledecky in the elevator, and Emma said that she was eating ground beef and sour cream, but I'm pretty sure it was yogurt and granola. We've been on a debate like that. I hadn't seen Katie since to confirm whether it was sour cream and yogurt sour cream and ground beef or yogurt and granola. I'd had a talk to Noah Lyles, which was really cool. I took a lot of gems from him. I think you know, it was a natural conversation, but, you know, he's the type of person that I think you can just learn a lot about confidence and believing in yourself from. And obviously, I met Sha'Carri, I met Simone Biles, I met Suni Lee. There's just the list goes on and on. It was very cool. Obviously, the whole U.S. men's basketball team. So yeah, I could sit here for like hours talking about all the cool people that I met. And I finally got a picture with Rafa. I traded pens with him. I didn't post the picture, but I probably should have. I traded pens with Rafa. Carlos didn't have any pens, so I didn't let him be in the selfie. So it's just me and Rafa. And who else? Oh, I finally got a pic with Andy, which I always wanted to ask. So I got the two goals were to get a picture with them too. So those were my two goals. And ironically, they were tennis players, so I could have gotten at any tournament. But I don't know. I just felt maybe, I don't know. I had the confidence. I was like, it's Olympics, you know, other athletes were asking them. So I felt not like out of the ordinary, whereas here they probably don't get asked as much at tennis tournaments.
Coco, I know in the offseason you got to work with Andy Roddick a bit on your serve. What was that experience like? Obviously, he's one of the best servers the game has seen, and is he someone that you kind of check into every once in a while to pick his brain?
Yeah, Andy's was really great to work with him. We haven't really like gotten a chance to like be in touch like in person, just because, you know, he's pretty much in his home life. I mean, he's doing his podcast virtually, so I don't think he travels as much. But it was really cool to learn some knowledge. And like you said, he's one of the best servers ever. So anytime you can get an opportunity from one of the best to learn from, I think it's great.
Last couple of questions. Coco, I'm just wondering if you have a comment. Obviously, tennis is huge in your home country, but in Canada, it's been on the rise for the last decade or so. Sort of, what have you noticed in the rise of Canadian tennis, just in opponents that you've played, and sort of how the sport's grown as a whole in this country?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I guess from my perspective, it didn't look as small of a sport, just because as I was growing, Layla and I grew up together in juniors. So for me, she was, you know, just I don't know, when you're growing up around a lot of Canadians playing, you don't realize how small of a sport it is until I was just looking around here and they have like a lot of the photos of their players, and it really isn't like that many over the years, but obviously, like you said, it's grown, and I think it's great. I think it's just all about exposure. I mean, obviously, tennis is a fun sport, but if you're never exposed to it, I don't think it's typically a sport that you maybe say, hey, I'm going to play this if it's not popular in your country. I think that's kind of the reason why, like on the American men's side, that just now we're experiencing some of the growth on the men, just because, you know, most people, boys in U.S. want to play basketball or football or whatever. So I think it's the representation that matters. So I think with Bianca and Layla doing their thing, I think it will inspire more people to come into this sport. Because if you don't see anyone, you know, from your country excelling, then you're probably not going to be someone to choose that sport. So I think really we should, you know, credit the players the current players now, like Layla, Felix, Gabby Dabrowski winning bronze. I think she was the first female bronze medalist for tennis in the Olympics. So I think the more results they have, they'll bring more people into the sport. So hopefully they continue to do their thing, because I love Canada. I love Canada. I love playing here, and it would be nice to see more tournaments here on tour.
Coco, I'm curious. I think I don't know if you've done it yet, but I think that they're doing like a fit check thing, like WTA, like just taking photos of people dressed up like the way that they do in NBA and other sports and stuff like that.
I didn't know about that.
I'm
the one who said that we should do this. Y'all know I love to post my outfits.
We'll set one up. But I'm curious because in other sports, it's like a really big, easy marketing thing, you know, when the players arrive and get snapped. How hard would that be to incorporate that into tennis? Because there's a lot more variables involved of kind of getting y'all to do that. So I mean, curious. I've
done it like the past 2 Grand Slams. I've done it. I had my own photographer come and take my pictures. So I did it. I started it last year doing it with where I'll, you know, New Balance will prepare like a whole outfit for me. And yeah, so I'm actually going to do it at US Open too. So I've been doing it for a minute. I would say last year I kind of started it at Wimbledon, where I posted like a streetwear like white outfit. So the Grand Slams, I've committed to doing it. Obviously, you know, other tournaments is harder. I think it'll be much easier I think press day we can definitely, you know, because that's your first press day of the tournament, you know what time it is. There's not really many variables with that. So I think with girls is sometimes harder because tennis is also not the sport that you can like play with makeup on, and it's not like track and field. You're only running for however many seconds, and so your makeup will stay. So yeah, but when I did this year Wimbledon, I brought my makeup. I did it in the locker room. I brought my outfit. I chose, I did it on TikTok, and I had TikTok pick my outfit. So it is something I think will grow the sport because people love fashion in sports, and that's something I've been wanting to do for a while. So it will be cool to do it. I am doing something at U.S. Open. I'm not going to say what, but I am doing something at U.S. Open that I haven't done yet. So I'm excited for that. Oh, okay.
Just jumping on this, you have so many brand endorsements and everything, and you're probably one of the highest paid athletes, and congratulations on that, first of all.
Thank you.
And you've been so vocal about, equal pay in a lot of places, and with the growth of women's sports right now, where do you see your role is in this space, and how do you see that? Because a lot of people see you as a role model.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just knowing your worth and then standing on it. And if anything, like I've learned in the past Olympics, it's really the female athletes that are getting most of the attention when it comes to media. Like all I'm hearing about is the women's gymnastics, women's swimming. So I think it's just important that we continue as, athletes who in sports like tennis, continuing to push that, because I will say tennis is the forefront of equal pay. And we're not there in every tournament, but in the slams, it's a big step. And so I think as tennis players, we should also recognize, be grateful for people like Billie Jean King and Venus Williams and the Original Nine for setting that standard so long ago. And I think through tennis, we can also push that into other sports. And I'm very happy to see with the WNBA that they're already putting initiatives in place to get that prize, or I don't know if they call it prize money, but salary up for those players. And tennis, like I said, we're not there yet in every tournament, but I definitely think we have the personalities, we have the talent, we have the storylines to get there. And I think it's just not only like in sports, but in every workplace in general. I mean, obviously that's not only a thing that goes on in sports, but other workplaces. And I think just as women, we just continue to support each other and starting our own businesses. That's one of the things I want to do. It's just if you can't, if they won't give you a way, you make your own way. And that's something that my dad taught me. So that's a lot of things that I try to do with the brands that I work with to make sure that they have places in place for women, and especially women of color, because, it's one thing to be representative of that brand, but you also want to make sure that people who aren't getting the cameras and the flasher, it's showing not just on the outside, but within. So I try my best. I'm still young. I'm still learning. So hopefully, I can inspire other brands and girls and men to do the same thing.